didn't shave my neck, but as Outcast would say, so fresh and so clean. Not really either, because I'm wearing a robe. It's kind of ridiculous. That's what we do on this show. I got my coffee. Let's do it. In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday. It's March 11th, 2021. Still weird to say. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Oh, excuse me. All right. So I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday was a great day. Yesterday was an absolutely great day, and I can boil it down to one thing. One very simple thing. I got to train with people. Kind of accidentally, but it happened. So I mentioned yesterday on First Cup that last night I would be going to Mr. Nish Grout's Taekwondo school, working with him and a couple of his students on some more content for the German Lesniak Martial Arts, the JLMA YouTube channel. Which, yeah, you can find that. Just search my name. Easy enough. And we scheduled an hour and a half. And finished everything I had set to record in an hour. And I said, And of course, everybody's looking at me with what to do. And I said, you guys want to train? You want to do some stuff? They said, sure. I said, is there anything you want to work on? They went, well, no. And one person said, self-defense. And I said, I got a drill for you. And so we worked on what I call advanced sparring. It's a free-form, very slow, no rules, no injury, defender priority drill. It is, I think it's the most fun thing that you can do in martial art. It's just so much fun because you can work things out and you can experiment and there's no risk of injury. So you can really try out stuff. And not only was I able to do that, but I was able to kind of coach others through some of the stuff they were working on, and it was just so much fun. And I left and just had the biggest smile on my face. It has been a year. Good morning, Stacey. It has been a year since I've done any martial arts with someone physically and had to block and been blocked. I knew I was missing it. I don't think I realized how much. I don't think I've ever gone this long not doing partner work with somebody. Just that realization is pretty powerful. I could have gone for hours. I really could have. It's just, I had so much fun. And talking through people, like one of his students was looking for an arm bar. I think they must have learned arm bars recently or something. And so I was giving her situations that led to an arm bar and talking her through it. Okay, so I'm here, so take that hand, put that there, step through here, and helping her see where they would show up. And it was a good time. Of course, we got some great video. I think all but one of the things that we recorded worked out. There was one thing I was going for that I can teach it, but it doesn't show up on video the same way I want it to. But we got through some other stuff. There was some more structural things that were just absolutely awesome. And I want to shout out Nish and his students for trusting me and giving it their time and hopefully enjoying themselves and learning something. What else happened yesterday? Working more. If you're on Facebook, you're going to start seeing whistlekick ads for various things because this is what I'm working on right now. There are a lot of things I'm good at. One of the things I'm not very good at that I'm working on getting better at is the advertising piece. I'm good at the marketing stuff. I can do stuff like this that, a certain demographic of people is going to say, hey, that's cool. I'll come and I'll stick around. But what about getting people to even know about whistlekick. That's advertising. That's not something that I'm great at. And I'm spending some time with some ads, and we're making products and guides, and we're just gonna start doing that stuff. So if you see ads, click on them if you want, but throw a thumbs up or a positive comment, please. Because inevitably when you do stuff like that, people leave hateful comments. Now I try to remove as many of those, of the annoying ones, as I can. But I don't always see them. There was one person last time who was just getting rude, and so I just finally blocked them. Wasn't worth it. I have no problem with criticism, but being rude, there's no space for that. I don't have time for that. What else happened yesterday? Had tacos for dinner. Oh, the maple trees, the sap's running. I gotta double check. I think one of the trees might have some, I gotta check, might be some wood chips from drilling out the hole stuck in the pipe. A little bit of sap, but not much. The other one, the one that's more on the south side of the house, was dripping. So I might have some sap to go collect this morning, which I'm pumped about. There was a weird noise. Might be the kids outside, actually. What else happened yesterday? Just work. More of the same. Got a couple client calls this morning. Gonna work on the magazine with Justin. Magazine's moving forward. We are almost at our fundraising goal, our sales goal for getting the first issue going. And I'm super excited about that. So, yeah. If you want to get on that inaugural list, here's what you do. Make sure you go to Marshall Journal and you sign up for the newsletter that we've never sent, but there is a sign-up form over there. And if you do that, then those are the first people we're gonna reach out to for addresses for the newsletter, or for the magazine, for the print version. You can get a digital copy, ultimately, but remember, it's a free magazine. We've got some people who are seeing the vision. There's something really, we've got something special here. And as Justin and I have talked about it, there's a very good chance that this formula that we're putting out changes magazines, that other people do this too. Because it's cool. What we're doing is really cool. And I think people are gonna love it. What else can I tell you? What else happened? I'll be driving up to the co-working space today, getting a bunch of work done while I'm there. Go to the gym after. Yeah, I'm flying high from yesterday. I really am. You can probably see it in my face. Oh, and I shaved. I trimmed, because I was gonna be on camera, so I had to look good. I had to look good. It's amazing. I'm happy with my physical appearance with no hair, but once it starts to grow out, even this much hair up here, I think it changes the shape of my head and it looks funny. I don't cut my hair as often as I want to, because it takes time. It's one more thing. One of my dreams is that I end up, this would be silly, but I think I would still like to do it. I think I've shared before, I don't enjoy doing things that are just like boring and repetitive and just like brushing my teeth. I'm not gonna have somebody brush my teeth, but I could imagine having like a barber a couple times a week come in and just shave my head and trim my beard and shave my neck, and heck, while that's going on, somebody can cut my fingernails, and I don't know what else. Maybe they could brush my teeth. I don't know. I can't see that ever happening. Here's a question for you, and those of you watching, well, you can guess real time. If I was gonna hire someone on staff that wouldn't be a traditional, employee that's gonna do, like commercial work, what would it be? Something that would seem more personal. Would I hire a, here's one I wouldn't, like a gardener. I wouldn't hire a gardener first because I like doing that work. What would it be? Any guesses? Not a gardener. Although I guess I sort of have a landscaper. I do have a landscaper. He cuts the grass. Would it be a personal chef? Maybe. Massage therapist. That would be the first one I would do. Because there's always something. There's always something that's sore or that could use some attention, and it would be great to have that. I could imagine this version of life where I'm successful enough that I have all of these people, and the massage therapist, when they're not working on me, then they can work on the rest of the staff. And the person and the chef cooks the meals that I need, but takes care of the food for the rest of the team. How cool would that be? I would love to see that happen. That would be fun. Have a personal mechanic who fixes everybody else's cars. So then when you join the team, not only do you get a salary, but you get all these other things paid for. You can really take care of people. That would be awesome. And then everybody trains. If they want to. All right. I'm fired up. Let's see what else is going on. Look at all these wires hanging up. This is what happens when you have like a 6-foot cord for your phone. Because I was thinking for the 6-foot cord in the car. Stacy says, make it so. I'm working on it. I am working on it. We just need to start selling stuff that people will buy. Got a bunch of people signing up for the free guide that we're advertising. Nobody's taken the leap to buy the program yet. So moving on, I've got another product that I'm making. Another digital product. All right, so we got some stuff. Jen said something on. Okay. Why is this not showing up? So yesterday we talked about Virginia Apgar, and Jen commented, because I said I'm not quite sure who she is. Virginia Apgar was among the first to realize that anesthesia used on mothers in labor directly affected babies, often causing them to be too sleepy at birth to breathe properly. She developed the... It's not letting me into that comment, and I'm not sure why. It's very frustrating. Hopefully you see it. But she developed the, what was it, the Apgar test, Apgar scale. And Frank added on, with regards to the third quote from yesterday, it is a description of the widely used Apgar scale for assessing the health of newborn babies. Virginia Apgar came up with the scale in 1952 and is still saving babies' lives to this day. There we go. See? So not only do we talk about martial arts, and I give you some motivation, and I tell you what's going on behind the scenes at whistlekick, but maybe you learn some things. I learn things. This is the best part. You guys give me not weird, you give me, you can call it trivia or fringe or whatever. Stacy says, I saw the guide ad. Cool. Emmett says, morning, I have to admit this is my 4th cup and I'm pretty wired now. Coffee is delicious. And Stacy's asking if he's vibrating. I try to confine myself to 2 cups. Something for those of you who don't know, if you like drinking a lot of coffee, obviously you can cut to decaf or whatever. But if you're not familiar, you can get theanine. It's a non-essential amino acid, L-theanine. It's not a drug. It's not anything like that. And mix it in with your coffee. Now, what does that do? It prevents the spike. As your body takes up caffeine along with theanine, instead of spiking, it is a much more level and sustained high from the coffee. And it, for a lot of people, prevents it being jittery. You might also consider adding fat in, whether that's MCT oil, butter, coconut oil, heavy cream, something like that, because that will also stabilize the uptake of caffeine, especially on an empty stomach. What's the brand? There's a brand of coffee that has theanine in it that I was buying for a while. It was good. I don't remember what it was called. This goes back a few years. But the whole premise was that you didn't get as jittery from their coffee. And it was true. And I did some research. And it was because they were adding theanine to it. When I go up to the co-working space today, I will probably have a cup or two of decaf while I'm up there. And even that I got to cut off because there's caffeine in it. And I have a hard time sleeping. I went to bed late last night. 10? For me, that's late. It was almost 10. All right, and now for the quotes, questions, comments. Remember, you got stuff you want me to talk about? Drop it in the comment section once the show closes. You guys in the chat, you're too much. All right, and today we've got quotes from Harriet Beecher Stowe, acclaimed author. So much has been said and sung of beautiful young girls. Why doesn't somebody wake up to the beauty of old women? There is something, depending on how you're going to define beautiful, there is something that is absolutely beautiful about not only everyone, but especially of older people and I will say specifically older women. I had a number of grandmotherly figures around me as I was growing up, and there was a quiet confidence and a strength and an awareness, a wisdom that was pretty impactful on me. For those of you who read the novel that I wrote, the character of Nancy was based on someone named Nancy, who was absolutely influential in my life. Probably, when I think of who I am now, definitely top 10, maybe even top 5 influences on who I am as a person. And she was a beautiful person and taught me so much. And I have very fond memories of her. And it was as I was working through the novel and incorporating her, there were some times I had to stop writing because I was remembering her, and I got a little emotional. One of the strongest people I've ever known, possibly the strongest person I've ever known. Moving on, before I lose it. Geez, she's been gone 25 years, maybe more. No ornament of a house can compare with books. They are constant company in a room, even when you are not reading them. And that's what I'm looking forward to the top shelves here being as books. I have this dream. And I may do this someday. I hope I get the chance to do this. I have this dream of going into the woods and building a simple log cabin by myself. And the inner walls being nothing but books. Basically an old log cabin library. Growing up, I used to go to book sales, which generally the public libraries would push out their old books and people would donate books, and I would always look for the oldest books. And that's what I want. I want all these shelves of old books. Somewhere assuming my mother hasn't donated them, she may have, there are quite a few books from the 1800s, early 1900s that I was collecting as a kid. And there was just something to them, the way they felt in your hand, the smell, the paper. I found a lot of them about sailing and pirates, which I found fun. Emmett says, my grandmother was always full of surprise knowledge. I lost a little in a local poker game several times over a few weeks once. Turned out grandmother was an excellent poker player. Yeah, we had quite a night on the town after that game. Oh, that's great. Um, I'm trying to remember the username for it. There's an account on TikTok that I follow, and it's this guy who's probably early 30s, maybe late 20s, and it's him and his grandma. And it's just them hanging out, being ridiculous. And she owns it. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And I'm trying to remember what it's called. I don't remember. You can probably find it. It's a big account. Like, they have a lot of followers. And yeah, I wasn't close to either of any of my biological grandparents. But I had people who filled in. So I get it. Friendships are discovered rather than made. I like the sentiment. I don't know if I agree. Friendships are discovered rather than made. I think both can be true. I have friendships that have happened over time because we've worked to become friends. And I've had friendships that happen instantly as we realize that we have things that bind us. Both have value. Friendships are important. It's easy to forget how important they are until they're gone, whether temporarily, permanently. I think a lot of us, good morning, Brian. I think a lot of us on the other side of pandemic stuff, whenever that is, I think there are a lot of things we won't take for granted. At least I hope we've learned. Fingers crossed. Yeah. One more. There is more done with pens than with swords. A little bit of a twist on the cliche. Pen is mightier than the sword. There's more done with pens than with swords. Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. More or less expressing the same sentiment. Communication is critical. And it's something that I have found most people, between their unwillingness to communicate authentically and their inability to communicate their intent, what is intended, creates a lot of problems. I'd like to think I'm a good communicator. I'm pretty honest. I'm authentic. And not everyone's comfortable with that. If I tell you I'm unhappy with something that you're doing, be happy that I'm telling you. Because now we have an opportunity to work through it. What happens with most people when I tell them that is that they go away. People don't like being told you're unhappy with them. Okay. You didn't deserve a place in my life. And that's something that I'm as I age, I'm getting better and better at realizing that most people just don't deserve a place in your life. And that creates times when it's lonely. This is one of them. But I also know what it's like to have a bunch of fake friends or relationships where you're putting in all the work. That's exhausting. And you lose yourself at those times. The more we worry about communication, the pen, the more we can get done. Theoretically, that's what English class in school or literature class in school is about. It's learning how to communicate. But it tends to get pushed off into reading and memorization. Most people don't really know how to communicate. Most people don't want to communicate. Most people struggle to have a difficult conversation. Without going into details, I had a call with a potential client, we'll call it a client just for simplicity, a week ago. It was the end of last Thursday. And this person was struggling with something in what was going to be the professional relationship that we were working on. And we'd had like 4 phone calls, and they brought up various flavors of this where they were struggling with something because they had had a past relationship that didn't go well, that was similar to the one that we were looking at. And finally, after the 4th time, I said, you got to get over it. If you can't get over it, there's no point in us moving forward, because it's not going to work. And it took him by surprise. I could tell. That's probably why I haven't heard from him. He can't get over it. That's fine. Better than wasting our time. You know what? One of the things that people can say, people can make all kinds of criticisms of me and what I've done and how I've run my businesses and who I am. And some of them are probably accurate. But one of the things that people will not be able to say is that I've done anything but my best and been honest and tried to provide value to people wherever I am. Do I make mistakes? Of course. But I would never take on a client that I don't think I could help because the client has hangups. Would the money be good until we reached that point? Yeah. Financially, that would be nice. But my integrity won't allow me to do that, because I would rather have this person saying, you know, Jeremy pretty much wouldn't let me come on as a client and was, you know, was direct and maybe even a little rude in our negotiations, than Jeremy took me as a client and 6 months later I fired him because I had given him all this money and he didn't get the job done. I don't want to be known for the second. I'll be known for the first. That's fine. Because that's a story that people don't tell. And people say, well, there's got to be more there. Because there's always more there. Emmett says, you have to leave your baggage in the past and give 100% to succeed in anything. I agree. What? Cat's being weird. What are you doing, Cat? She doesn't know. Catmentia. You come sit. So, I guess I'll go. I gotta get ready for calls and prep for my day. Put some things together. I hope you leave me some things to talk about tomorrow. I want to thank those of you for watching live, those of you watching later, listening later, all good. Thank you. Oh, it's Thursday. What's the episode? Let's check it out. Today's episode. Oh, yeah. So Josh Blum and I recorded another one where we talked about Showdown in Little Tokyo. Brought the fight clip. And we had a good time with that. Is there a video version of this, or is this audio? I don't remember. Did we do audio or video? It's just audio. I thought we did video on this one. Maybe not. That's okay. Anyway, if you've watched any of those past Fight Club videos, it's Josh and I unpacking what happened and having some commentary. And it's fun. I like working with Josh. It had been over a year because as a medical professional, he's been really busy. And it says, cats are always weird and pure evil. A villain always looks scary while petting a cat. They literally have blades for hands, and I've yet to meet one without an attitude. Completely accurate. Even when she's at her kindest, she's a weirdo. She's getting old. It could be, honestly, it could be any day. She's lost a lot of weight. And I'm just trying to enjoy the time I have left with her. When she lets me. All right. Go listen to that audio, today's episodes, and let me know. Is there a fight scene? Is there a movie that you want Josh and I to talk about? Because this is kind of our thing. We've been talking about something else too, but I enjoy doing that work with him. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.